Mr. Ranking Member, Mr. Chairman, thank you for the courtesy to comment. Let me associate myself with the ranking members in opening comments, particularly on the recent rule, fracking rule by BLM. You know, I hope that my friends on the other side of the aisle are paying attention right now because, quite frankly, this is a very special and unique moment. We agree on an energy issue. I agree with them that the fracking rule from the Bureau of Land Management is absolutely terrible. It's not terrible for the reasons they think. No, the real reason it's terrible is because this rule does absolutely nothing. I invite my colleagues to go through the rule and find anything in it that BLM doesn't already require, that the states don't already require, or that industry doesn't already do. BLM had an opportunity to make some real changes, to raise the bar, to provide some real protections for our public lands and for the people's right to know. Instead, they looked around at what was already happening and decided to write that into the rule. This would be like the Department of Transportation issuing a rule saying every car needed a steering wheel and a brake pedal, and having the auto industry scream, that's an overreach. And unfortunately, now that the BLM feels it has accomplished something, the chance to write strong rules that truly protect our water, our air, public health, and our lands is gone. Some complain that this steamrolls the states. Nothing could be further from the truth. This doesn't even nudge them. When the rule takes effect, drillers will go out, meet the highest standard that applies, just as they've always done. The highest standard that applies is often the state rule, and that will not change once this BLM regulation is implemented. Most drillers on BLM land will continue to follow state rules. This is not a disruption of the status quo. Quite frankly, it's an affirmation of the status quo. Relying on industry-initiated databases for public disclosure of chemicals used in fracking is nothing more than the fox guarding the henhouse. Companies will keep claiming these chemicals are trade secrets, proprietary, and the public will continue to be kept in the dark. I give the BLM the benefit of the doubt only because their hands are tied by Congress, which always seems to find another way to let the oil and gas industry avoid complying with environmental laws. The Halliburton loophole is just the worst example and the most indefensible. In what universe do we want companies injecting dangerous chemicals into the ground to be exempt from the Safe Drinking Water Act? There is nothing more important to Americans than safe drinking and potable water. Why are we letting oil and gas drillers off the hook by having to follow the Safe Drinking Water Act or other bedrock environmental laws? My colleagues and I recently introduced a set of bills known as the Frack Pack, which closes these loopholes and actually makes fracking safer, instead of trying to whitewash it under the guise of so-called regulations. The safety of our drinking water needs more oversight than, not less. And with that, thank you for your courtesy, and I yield back.
Okay, I thank the ranking member, and we will now be in a short recess. Hopefully 15 or so minutes. We'll be back here, because since there's just one vote. We'll be in recess.